Jefferson County Court at Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number 23 CCCR 0068. Case is style the state of Texas versus Craig Tahaney. Mr. Tahaney, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Tahaney, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Mr. Tahaney, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Tahaney?
I'm doing well. Yeah.
That's good. Now, Mr. Tahaney, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney Lane Walker. Attorney Walker, how are you doing?
Right, Judge. Thank you.
Mr. Walker, do you waive a record in Mr. Tahaney's case?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. State is represented in this case by Attorney Colby Hoffmeyer. Attorney Hoffmeyer, how are you doing?
Good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Tahaney, I have before me in cause number 23 CCCR 0068 an information that was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, it alleges that you, Craig Tahaney, on or about August 28 of 2022, while you were operating a motor vehicle in a public place in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed Class A misdemeanor offense of DWI. Now, with a breath alcohol concentration 0.15 or more, state, are you abandoning the enhancement paragraph?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Tahaney, the state is abandoning the enhancement paragraph, and what that basically means is that you're not being charged with a DWI, a Class A misdemeanor. You're being charged with a Class B misdemeanor, which is a lower offense. It's a lesser included offense, is what we commonly refer to it as. Now, Mr. Tahaney, to this lesser included charge of DWI first, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, no contest?
No contest.
Now, you pleaded no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Tahaney, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishment, is also labeled the State's Exhibit Number 1. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials, two sets of initials, CT and LW. LW is your attorney's initials, CT or your initials. Did you place your initials on this line that's titled NOLA contingent, which means no contest?
Yes, Your Honor.
On page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document is titled Trial Court Certification to Defendant's Right of Appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, it is.
At the top of this document, there are two boxes that's checked. The first box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
The second box that's checked states that you're waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Tahaney, before you sign an initial, I have another one. I have another document here on paper that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Tahaney, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, he did.
And did you read and understand everything that he went over?
Yes.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, it is.
Mr. Tahaney, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
That's Your Honor.
No,
No objection, State's Exhibit Number 1. And Mr. Walker, are you stipulating
I do.
the State's Exhibit Number 1 as well?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Walker, you've advised and counseled Mr. Tahaney. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Tahaney, your attorney, Mr. Walker, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
I am.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
He has.
Mr. Tahaney, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for a plea of guilty or no contest, states agreed to recommend 1 year deferred adjudication and community supervision,
When you, okay,
$700 fine and court costs,
$700 fine.
80 hours community-based service,
Okay,
installation of the interlock device,
interlock.
and stand all other standard terms and conditions for DWI first probation.
That's,
And I believe
DWI
the
education.
defendant is a resident of Harris County. We have no objection to transfer.
Okay, yeah, he would have to talk to the probation, let the probation officer know where he lives.
Yes, sir.
And is that the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Walker?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Dehaney, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During this 1 year deferred probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $700 plus court costs of $377, plus a probation fee of $60, a year analysis fee of $15, and a reimbursement fee of $50. The analysis fee is $15 each month, and the probation fee is $60 each month. And you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Now, your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $181 a month. Will you be able to pay the $181 each month?
Yes, sir.
You'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service. You'll be required to install an interlock device on any vehicle that you own or operate. You'll be required to attend and complete the DW education class. You will also be required to have a drug and alcohol assessment. You'll be required to pay a DWI initial evaluation fee of $125 on the day of the police. Should a further evaluation be needed, you'll be required to pay an additional $50. Now, you'll also be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of DWI probation. Mr. Dehaney, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes,
And do you accept the state's offer?
I do.
Now, Mr. Dehaney, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will not result in a conviction on your record. It will result in a dismissal, and you may qualify for what is called a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about your non-disclosure because he's quite competent in those matters. Now, this will conclude your case. Going to stand next to your attorney, follow the directions of the clerk. Once you finish following the clerk directions, you'll be free to go. You have a blessed day and you have a safe trip back home.
Thank you.
And Mr. Walker, you'll be free to go as well and you have a blessed day.
Thank you. Judge, can I ask the court one thing?
Yeah.
As far as community service,